Let's diagram together. We've chosen 4 sentences from our new book, How to Diagram Any Sentence. Here's the first sentence. I mowed the grass. When we are first learning how to diagram, we only need to diagram the simple subject and the simple predicate, so that's what we are going to do here. First, draw a horizontal line. This is the base of every diagram. Next, draw a vertical line, dividing your horizontal line in 2. You'll see this line in every diagram because it is a visual division. It shows that everything on the left belongs to the subject and everything on the right belongs to the predicate. Then, put the pronoun I in the left-hand spot, which is reserved for the simple subject. Who is doing the action in this sentence? I am, so I is the subject. To the right of your vertical line, write the action verb, mowed. If you had any helping verbs, you would put them here as well, but you don't, so you're all finished. Grass is a direct object, but we haven't learned that part of the sentence yet, so that's why it's in italics. It means you don't need to diagram it until you learn how. The next sentence is a little bit harder. The furious bull snorted menacingly. Once again, draw your horizontal and vertical lines. Now let's fill in the blanks. The simple subject is the noun, bull, and the simple predicate is just one action verb, snorted. But we have some modifiers to add this time. We always want to keep our modifiers in the same order in which they appear in the sentence. So we start with a slanted line for the article adjective the. Notice that we keep the capitalized on the diagram so that our diagram represents that this word is the first word of the sentence. Then we draw a separate slanted line for the descriptive adjective furious. Each adjective gets its own line, and each adjective goes underneath the noun or pronoun it describes. Finally, we will add our adverb. Menacingly tells how the bull snorted, so we draw it on a slanted line just like our adjective lines, but we place it under the verb since it is modifying the verb. Our third sentence demonstrates a fun type of word, a verbal known as a gerund. These are words that end in ing. They are usually acting as verbs, but they can sometimes act as nouns instead. Diagramming gerunds is so useful because we are creating a visual representation of how these words are out of the ordinary. But first, draw your horizontal and vertical lines. Then, fill in those spaces with the simple subject, Tess, and the simple predicate, earns. What does Tess earn? Money. Any noun or pronoun that follows the action verb and answers the question whom or what is acting as the direct object. So put money in the direct object spot. Remember, a direct object line does not go all the way through the horizontal line. Only the subject-verb dividing line does. Add the descriptive adjective extra under money since it's telling how much money Tess earns. Now we can diagram our gerund. We have a prepositional phrase, by coaching. This phrase tells us how Tess earns money, so it's an adverb phrase and we should put it under the verb. When we diagram prepositional phrases, we put the preposition on the slanted portion of the line and the object of the preposition on the horizontal line. However, the object of the preposition coaching is normally a verb. Think, I am coaching, you are coaching, she is coaching. Since it's not acting as a verb here, we have to show by our diagram that it is unique. We do this by using a device known as a pedestal. By putting the gerund up on that pedestal, we highlight its special function in the sentence. Simply draw an upside-down Y and a set of slanted and horizontal lines, much like a prepositional phrase, but without the tail. Then write the gerund on that line, curving it as you go. Our last sentence is an exciting one. This is for more advanced diagrammers, and it comes from a well-known short story, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Quietness and value. Jim and the chain had quietness and value. Begin as always by drawing the horizontal and vertical lines and filling them in with the simple subject and simple predicate. In this sentence, we have only one verb, had, and we can put that in its verb spot. But we also have a compound subject joined by the conjunction and. Jim and the chain. So we use a bracket to create room for those words. Draw a horizontal line for the first subject that appears in the sentence, Jim, and a second horizontal line for the second subject, chain. Join these subjects together with a dotted line and place the coordinating conjunction and on that dotted line. Then put the article adjective the under chain. What did Jim and the chain have? Quietness and value. Since we have two words acting as direct objects, this is known as a compound direct object. We will use the same type of bracket that we used for the subject, but we'll just flip it around to point the other way towards the subject-verb dividing line. Don't forget to put that direct object line perpendicular before the bracket, demonstrating that these words are acting as direct objects. We'll put quietness on the top line and value on the bottom line, keeping them in the order in which they appear in the sentence. Then we'll join them with and on the dotted line. Now for the fun part. This sentence contains something known as a parenthetical element. A parenthetical element is a word, phrase, or clause that may not have a grammatical connection to the sentence. Diagramming is a great way to show how these items may not connect grammatically because we diagram them floating off by themselves without a dotted line joining them to the rest of the sentence. Many parentheticals are diagrammed off to the side or beneath the independent clause to demonstrate that they are not as important as the independent clause. In this sentence, we have a phrase, quietness and value. We just draw a bracket echoing the original direct objects, quietness and value, and we put it under the independent clause all by itself. That's it. We can't wait for you to use this book. Happy diagramming!